Hey guys, welcome back to the Anime Casuals podcast, the podcast for avid and casual anime fans. I'm your host Mitchell, joined by my co-host Gabriel.
What's up, guys? I'm Gabriel. Now, before we get started, this is a special episode for us because this is our 10th podcast episode. We just wanted to thank y'all for sticking around.
The community that this podcast has built is just really amazing, and we never thought it would get to this point. We just really want to thank y'all for that. Truly means a lot to us. We enjoy engaging the community. I know Gabe does, and so do I. It and all the comments we get, it really motivates us. So, but yeah. But with that being said, we're gonna get into the topic for this episode, which is going to be anime for starters, or anime to get people into anime. So I guess you could say. But yeah, because this is a topic that people talk around the community because it is hard to get into anime. Because it's not always easy to get people in anime, and I've tried. But yeah, what do you want to say?
A lot of people have a lot of different reasons for neglecting anime and Japanese cartoons in general, just because of that simple connotation of cartoons.
Yeah, they think, oh, it's cartoons meant for kids, or it's in Japanese. Whatever, like, oh, I don't want to read subtitles when people read subtitles on Netflix with shows, and I don't know. I don't
like people complain about, oh, like, I don't like reading in a foreign language, even if it's good. Okay, then why did Parasite win the best movie of the year, and you have to read that in subtitles?
I don't know, but we can get onto that because people will watch like Pretty Little Liars, but they won't watch something like
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, that's for another day. But anyways, let's get in. One of the first ones I want to talk about is, but the reasoning behind this is what a lot of people think. They think it's too childish. That's what most people think. They're too childish or whatever. And then when you see something, because when people think about anime, they think about Dragon Ball, Pokemon, and maybe if they know a little bit, Naruto. So when they think about it, they're not really thinking, oh. But when they watch something like Death Note, their mind completely changes. They're kind of like, oh, so it could actually be mature. And I've talked to many people before, whether it's anime YouTubers or whatever, just people I know. They were just watching anime, and then when they saw Death Note, they were like, wow, that's it. Anime could really be for older people, older audiences. It could really, it can really go deep into certain themes or certain things that just normal shows can't get into, just because there's certain things anime can do that you can't really do in live action, like the expressions or just certain movements you can't do in live and just real show, like not real shows, but live action shows or whatever. But yeah, and I want to say obviously Death Note. I think that's everyone's. When everyone talks about go to. What would you want to say is another one?
I would say always whenever someone asks, like, what's a good anime that I can watch, and I always think about, okay, what's the easiest accessible and what to me is like the best and really catches a lot of people first off.
Yeah.
And I think that a good one, even though it is kind of sort of childish, but it's not really that childish, is Soul Eater. A lot of people have known that to be a really solid, just kind of basically good anime that everyone should kind of just try to watch at least.
Mm-hmm.
And most people like it when they watch it, and this is quirky in its own way, but that's always a great one for starters. I feel like whenever you get someone to watch an anime and they watch Soul Eater first, which I've had some people do, they tend to like anime more, and then they'll get into more stuff like Naruto or something maybe a little bit more comedy.
Usually that doesn't happen. Usually people start off with like Naruto, Dragon Ball, and then when they're really starting to get into anime, they go to Soul Eater. Yeah. Usually it's vice versa, but yeah, I could understand. Like me, I guess everyone's first anime is Pokemon, but the one that I really knew I was watching anime was Hikaru no Go, which is like when most people are like, what? Usually it's Dragon Ball or Naruto or Pokemon. Yeah. That's what I hear. But everyone's seen Pokemon, but people just don't consider that getting them into anime, because when they're watching it as a kid, you don't think it's an anime. You're just like, oh, it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
Because it's on Cartoon Network or whatever.
Yeah. But I say Soul Eater because it's solid. It reinforces the ideas of a shonen anime without being too like focus on it. Like there are arcs, there's character development, there's side characters, there's plot armor, low key, but like it's just it kind of like builds these ideas and gives it to them real slow, and then so when they watch an anime from then on out, they're easier to pick up and like other things.
But this is also another thing. When you're trying to get someone into anime, you don't really want to get them into something where, because there's anime out there where you're like, you have to wait till episode 13, then it gets good. But it's just like, you don't want that, because when people are trying to get into anime, you want something like, here's another good one, The Promised Neverland. First episode is absolutely great, and they'll be hooked from then on out. And it has a dub, so if some people, they might not want to listen to a sub, and they're like, that just throws them away. It has a dub. It's, and also, but also you want easy access for your anime, like Netflix, Hulu, or whatever. That's not necessarily on there, but that's also a good one because it has a good first episode and it continues to be good. Sometimes there's better anime, but they just take longer to get to where it's really good. You want that. And also with most people, like with cartoons, you see the superhero vibe. That's why I'd also recommend My Hero Academia, because that one's,
you stole it from me, bro.
Yeah, My Hero Academia. That one's really, it's not the best anime ever, but it's also, I think it's really good, and it can get people from transitioning from what's it called, human shows. I'm joking. Live action or cartoons or whatever to anime, and they'll feel like, that's why it's so popular in America, My Hero, and that's why I feel like kids nowadays, they're going to grow up with My Hero, not as much as like new anime watchers, like young anime watchers, they'll grow up with My Hero. Like it's not going to be as easy to see, because when you're watching Naruto, it was a lot easier to watch as a kid. Now it's a little bit harder to watch anime because they're just not picking them up, streaming or whatever. But if you're going on Netflix or whatever, or like Hulu, My Hero is on Hulu, so it's easier to see. But yeah,
I wanted to take a point to talk about how important it would be if someone started My Hero. Like, you have to understand, My Hero is definitively the top 10 anime of this decade, without a doubt. It has to be the most defining.
Okay, well, I'd say, because a lot of people would disagree, because a lot of people don't like it, but I'd say it had one of the biggest impacts, because really, a lot of people still say this, is Shonen Jump needs a revamp. They need a revamp because a lot of people say they're still searching for their successor to One Piece. And I don't think anything is going to ever reach the popularity in sales that One Piece has, but they're not realizing that they have stuff like My Hero Academia, which is doing great in sales. If you look at the sales, crazy. And people may not necessarily like the story, I've heard, and maybe the protagonist Deku could be a little bit better, but I still think it's a good overall anime to get someone into, start them off with. And
Alright, I'll bring one up next. I really do think that if you are not a fan of shonen, and I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I tried to watch anime, I tried to watch Dragon Ball, I tried to watch Naruto, I wasn't a fan, the fights took too long, it was too slow. Okay, well then start them into a small action series, and that's why I perfectly recommend Cowboy Bebop, because it is honestly...
I wouldn't say that, because when I watched that when I was younger, and I dropped it, just because it wasn't really my cup of tea back then.
But that's where the non-kid, more adult themes.
Okay, yeah, that's if they're older. If they're older, yes, Cowboy Bebop. That would still no. I don't think you should start them off with something like that, because it's just too, I don't know.
To me, it's the perfect introduction into these 24 or 26 episode anime where it's just, there's action, but it doesn't take forever.
And also you wouldn't understand, really, and it's just small. You have to watch more anime to really get Cowboy Bebop because of what it has in it. It's kind of like, it's not there. Here's another thing. like Gintama. That's a huge anime, blah blah blah. But you wouldn't want someone to start off with that because the jokes in it, you'd have to have watched a ton of anime, and then just also like the Japanese, like, jokes or cultural stuff that's going on in there. You wouldn't really understand it. Like some anime, you're just like, you shouldn't really start them off with it. This is why I say I don't think you should start someone off with Demon Slayer, because it's like, it's really Japanese. Like that one's really Japanese. I know you said that earlier when we were having this discussion. I don't really think you should, because it's just like, it's just too much, and it's just like, it's trying to, you gotta let it like slide them in, just give them
its
gradually.
audience is already anime watchers.
Yeah, it's but the action in there is obviously good. It has a solid story. Not the greatest thing, but it has a solid story. Another thing is, I always, when I recommend, when people say, "Hey, I want to watch anime. What should I watch?" I always say Your Lie in April and Death Note. And usually people are like, "Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Those are two great ones to get people into." And I think Your Lie in April is just an absolute masterpiece, 10 out of 10. And I think that's a good way to start someone off, because it just shows you that not everything's gonna go right in anime. Not everything's it, I don't know, because when people think it's little kids, everything is, it's gonna end up right at the end of the day. Not everything will, and it's gonna show you that it touches on some dark themes, and it shows you that it's, I don't know, it just gives you a different outlook on certain things. Like, and me personally, it got me into, like, I enjoyed listening to orchestra music and piano music now. It just sounds so beautiful to me, because like something like that got me into
You
that
made a
thing.
connection with
Yeah.
the anime and what was important in the anime. You took it
Yeah.
into real life.
Yeah. I really like that.
Which is an amazing feat for an anime to do, and that's really something that would really connect with a beginner and be like, wow, anime is deeper than just a cartoon.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to say, because a lot of cartoons you could just watch.
Like, you could watch Pokemon. You like 200 episodes of Pokemon, and you would like never really take anything away from it.
Yeah, I mean, you take some.
That's an exaggeration, but you know what I'm saying.
Some, but I'm like, if I'm talking about more like cartoons. Like if you're watching, let's see. Sorry about that, but as I was saying, cartoons. Like some cartoons, when you look at it, you won't take anything away. Like I'm trying to think of something that you would really not really take anything away. You would take something away from Avatar. That's why a lot of people.
I was gonna say it, but then I was like, no.
Avatar, you will take something away from that, and I feel like if people are interested in Avatar, they'll be interested in anime.
Oh, for sure, especially because of the fights.
But if they're watching something like, why can't I think of something? Why can't I? Okay,
Adventure Time, maybe.
No, Adventure Time. You could take something away from that if you're. Yeah. But if you're talking about, I'm like talking about. Dude, I literally like, I don't know, Ed, Edd n Eddy. It's cool,
okay.
but it doesn't touch on any deep philosophical things, and it's just like, you can watch it. You don't have to watch every episode in order, is what I'm trying to say. You don't have to go from episode 1, 2, 3 to understand what happens in episode 4. You could watch episode 1 and then boom, 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 go all the way to episode 4, and you're still knowing what's happening. Like, yeah. So, but yeah, that's what I think, and it's more, the whole story for anime always wraps up together, and a lot of people just don't understand that, and yeah, a lot of people just will refuse to get into anime because they think it is so not just so childish, and they wouldn't understand the story or just whatever. They don't like how the characters' expressions or just how they look or whatever. And I just think you really need to give something a chance. That's why I always give something a chance before stating my opinion on it. If I haven't, that's why I don't like people who are like, oh, anime is this, that, anime, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, have you watched anything?
Yeah.
No, I have not. Then why are you saying this? So, yeah, I feel like everyone just needs to give something a shot. But when you're trying to get someone into anime, you have to make sure that it's something that'll grasp them in the first at least couple episodes. You don't want something like Tower of God, which just had a bad first episode. Don't even get me started on that. Tower of God seems a little bit overrated, as I always want to say so far, but I dropped it after 2 episodes. It was just kind of boring. But I might pick it up and finish the this season. But yeah, what else do you want to say?
I think that like a really great anime to start off with, maybe if you're not a fan of action, say you like somebody that's a little bit more watching like live action shows, like you said, like maybe Pretty Little Liars or something that was just a little bit more wholesome, not action animated, not action oriented.
Pretty Little Liar. What do you mean?
I'm not.
Your Lie in April?
Or no. Like just like a TV show. It's like not action oriented.
Oh yeah.
You know
Okay. Yeah. Pretty
so
Little
like
Liars.
saying someone like something that's like more wholesome, like some kind of family TV show. Then you can, and they say, oh, I want to get into anime, but I don't want to watch action.
Yeah.
And you can always introduce them to some nice slice of life anime. And I would personally predict my favorite, Barakamon. Barakamon is a amazing anime. You don't have to know too much about anime to actually like watch it, and it's wholesome. It makes you cry. It's very, very nice, good feeling anime that will get you into your feels. Like it will be like, wow, it can say a lot about like just these characters and these emotions with very little on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Barakamon as an anime is just a masterpiece and would be amazing for a first timer to get into the slice of life genre.
Also, if other people are trying to watch anime and they've already seen like stuff like Dragon Ball, Naruto, and they're like, okay, I want to watch something else, but don't make it. But I want it to be like another long running one, but your main goal is to get them deeper into anime because usually when you recommend something, you're trying to get people deeper into anime. But that's why I wouldn't recommend them something like. Sorry.
Sometimes it sounds like a cult. Sometimes we're talking like it's like
don't recommend them something like JoJo.
Oh no,
Hunter.
You need JoJo later on.
Yeah, you do need JoJo later on because getting them, they'll enjoy it. But yeah, I feel like you'll also really enjoy it a lot more when you watch more anime.
JoJo, it's like sometimes it borders on not being an anime, being its own thing. And like sometimes I feel like man.
Also, but there's when you think of like the just like the kings of shonen, you think like something that will never be replicated is something like JoJo. You can't replicate
that. Yeah,
you cannot replicate
own thing.
Yeah, and also One Piece. You can't. I don't think you could replicate that. How long it's been going on
People
for?
have tried.
Nothing can go for that long and be as good and wrapped together. Just it's so beautifully. But I'm not gonna. I don't want to get too deep into that. And also, let's see. I'm trying to think. What else could probably never.
Where would you call it at like the because I think this is now a pretty good point to mention it. Where would you call it at like saying that this anime is so good that it shouldn't be watched by a first timer? Like for me, like Vinland Saga would be an amazing anime for a first timer because not extremely Japanese. It's very
it is good, and I don't know. It'll also leave high expectations that may not have been met. Which is why you wouldn't recommend One Piece to somebody, and why you wouldn't recommend something like Hunter x Hunter, because you can't just give them the greatest thing ever in anime, and then when they're watching other anime, they're like, "Oh yeah, it was good, but it wasn't. It wasn't like One Piece. It wasn't like what I was hoping for. It wasn't like you're like say I don't know, because at that point. But also that is a good thing is if they see something that they really like, they'll be like, oh, I want more of something like this. So they'll search up anime like whatever. And then they'll watch it and they're like, it wasn't like
that's
that.
Not it. It's not
like,
enough.
It's not it. Like,
I need more.
Like in Hunter x Hunter, you remember when Miriam, when he was like, what's it called? He was like, he was eating humans in the beginning.
Yeah,
but he's like, nah, this isn't the special, the special ones that he was like, I was getting the best. He's like, it's good,
but it's not what I want.
It's not what I
crave in this life.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I'm trying to get into. So, but yeah, you don't want to start them off with like the greatest thing since like whatever. But and I don't really think if you're trying to get someone into anime, I wouldn't necessarily get them into, say if they're older, I would not try to get them into Dragon Ball, because if you didn't like, and I've had this problem, if you didn't grow up on Dragon Ball, you're not gonna like it.
Yeah,
like that's my problem. I didn't grow up with Dragon Ball. I absolutely despise it. I feel like people who and people have admitted this. They're like, I know Dragon Ball isn't that great. I know it isn't the best thing, but they're like, it's just what I grew up on. And sometimes when you grow up on something, you just don't want to admit it that it's like
you
it's
look
not
at
as
it
great
in a different light than other people that haven't seen it when they were children.
Yeah, because when you're seeing that, you're like, oh, that's so cool. And like when you're waiting on the weekends to see it, and then you finally see him go Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan 2, 3, 4 million, whatever. I don't know. I'm joking. I know Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3. But yeah.
You see him destroy a planet that Luffy's on, obviously, and beat all of One Piece.
No. Okay, we're not gonna get into that. We're not gonna get into battles. But what's it called? But yeah.
So don't.
I wouldn't start. I wouldn't
probably start them on an average, goodish anime. Definitely not the top of the top.
Also, because I don't think when you're first getting into anime, they don't worry so much about animation. And I think that, like, at least if it's not so old, but because some people, when they look at old animation, like, ew, it's disgusting. But it's like,
that looks gross.
But it actually looks good. Like Akira, for its time, it looks really good. Or Yu Yu Hakusho, it looks
One
pretty
Piece
good.
looked fucking amazing.
Yeah. One Piece did not look good.
I think One Piece looked
pretty.
It looks pretty. It has a good aesthetic.
Okay. But even I'm willing to. It's but what's it called? Black Clover. I think that could be something where you're kind of like, okay, I've seen Naruto. I've seen. No, if they haven't seen Naruto. If they've seen Naruto, then do not get them into Black Clover. But if they haven't, then you're like, they're kind of a kid, and you're like, I don't feel like they'll like Naruto. Then try to get them into something like Black Clover, because that could be something they could grow up on. They could grow up with Black Clover because it's still going, and they could say, oh shoot, it's Saturday or whenever Black Clover episodes come out.
Black Clover's supposed to be on. Yeah,
Black Clover's like, they come home and they could just enjoy it. If they're younger, they would enjoy that, and that could be something they could grow up on. Like I also said with My Hero, but My Hero, you could also get it into teenagers. But if you're trying to get older people into it, like I think even younger people, Death Note's good all around. But that's basically everyone's like what
go to. Yeah,
like what they when you talk to everyone, they're always like, Death Note's what really got me deeper into anime, and it kind of it didn't get me deeper,
but it definitely got you somewhere.
Yeah, it definitely got me somewhere, and I was kind of trying to look for anime that were kind of like that. But yeah, you also don't want to, like, another reason why you don't want to get them into like some of the best anime out there is because they're gonna start. Sorry about that. We're back. But yeah, like I said, another reason why you don't want to get them into the best thing is because it's gonna ruin other anime for them. They're not gonna have. It's not gonna have the same effect.
Downhill slope.
It's just like me. One Piece has just been a downhill. I'm joking, because One Piece, I started off. That would, I guess, be. I started One Piece. I know it was after Hikaru no Go, but I want to say. I don't know. I think it may have been the second time I knew I was watching an anime, or was it? I don't know. But nothing's ever been as good as One Piece. But I could still see these other anime, and I know they're really good. But I just know nothing's gonna be One Piece level for me personally. Maybe other people, maybe they don't like One Piece. Yeah. You just don't want
to start on an uphill slope. Yeah,
an uphill. But you
don't start them with the worst of the worst.
Yeah. You don't want to start them with
start them like something average.
Don't start them with, like, I don't know. Also, don't start them with something like Kill la Kill. Kill la Kill, some people enjoy.
Some people, but it's also just
it's just like, I don't really like. It's not my cup of tea.
Great animation.
And if you're watching it, you're just gonna be like, this is too much of you know what.
Yeah.
It's just too much boobs. Like, someone trying to get into anime, they're just like, what? They're like, dude, this is just being thrown. This is being thrown at me. Unless they're looking for something like that. If they ask, they're like, okay, I want some ecchi stuff, and I want action. I want ecchi and action. Then you're like,
watch High School.
Kill la Kill.
Watch High School of the Dead.
High School of the Dead. But also Kill la Kill is pretty good too. Apparently,
I think the biggest downfall of Kill la Kill for a beginner is the story. Like, the animation's great.
Yeah,
but the story is so-so.
Yeah, that's another reason why I didn't like it. I mean, I just thought it was too weird. I watched it when I was still in middle school, so
I
maybe.
actually liked weird stuff when I was young, and I still didn't like that anime.
Yeah, I understand that. I don't know. It just no,
No,
not Kill la Kill.
no, I love to hate on this anime, but I'd say it's great for starters because it's bringing them into what started the isekai movement.
Sword Art Online.
And you could start somebody on Sword Art Online. I know a bunch of people that started their anime whole like binge on Sword Art Online. Now, I would never personally like recommend it, but I can see other people recommending it because it is an interesting plot at the start, and it really captivates you. The first couple episodes, the first season is amazing.
Yeah.
I will say, SAO season 1, absolutely amazing. But then it actually, gives them a sense of like, okay, this is what anime is like. Oh, damn, anime can be really cool and have an interesting plot. And then season 2 can disappoint them, just like a bunch of other anime have.
Okay, but
And then they can move on to another one.
jeez. Also, we should start looking more onto the Netflix side of things because that's what's going to get most people into anime.
Accessibility. They don't want to go on
also,
Kiss Anime.
Yeah, also, like Netflix. Here's one of the things I want to talk about. One Punch Man. That's also going to be a solid one to get people into, but it won't hit as hard. It will not hit as hard because that's kind of making fun of the shonen genre. It's also making fun of superheroes, so they kind of will get it. They'll
But
the
they'll miss some of the
overpowered
jokes.
and they'll miss some of the jokes, and they really won't understand like how it's kind of making fun of anime and everything. But it's still really badass. The action's crazy. They'll enjoy it. They'll enjoy it, and that's also on Netflix.
But you do have to think about accessibility. What did you watch your first anime on?
The first anime. Oh, I watched it on. What was it? Kiss Anime.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow.
If we're talking about like, what's it called? Yeah, Hikaru no Go.
You watched it on Kiss Anime?
Yeah, Kiss Anime.
Wow, you went out of your way.
Yeah, I did go out of my way because I saw it on because I got it. It was from I asked for it for Christmas. It was a Yu-Gi-Oh. No, it was a Shonen Jump mini magazine that came with a Yu-Gi-Oh card. I think it was Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, and on it had Hikaru no Go. I can't remember the exact volume or chapter. I want to say it's volume like 6 or 5 or something like that. And it had just something. I thought it was really cool because I enjoyed watching shows based on games that like board games or like Yu-Gi-Oh, because I was watching Yu-Gi-Oh at the time.
Pokemon.
Or yeah, something like that. Or I just wanted something that was a game.
Card Fight Vanguard.
Card Fight Vanguard. And that was that. And when I saw that, I was like, whoa, this really intrigued me, and I really wanted to go out of my way to watch it. I really wanted to watch it. Yeah. Also, another good one is say if they're more of a athlete, and you want to get them into something kind of a shonen,
Sporty, yeah.
Yeah, sporty. Or if they're looking for more sports, because some people do generally like sports. I love sports movies. I love sports anime. So try something like Haikyuu. It's on Netflix. We personally have not seen it, but we know.
I've seen the first 3 episodes.
Dude, I wasn't paying attention.
I was.
Okay, but anywho, yeah. Haikyuu, great sports anime, and obviously, we know how it's affected the sports genre and everything. When people think about sports anime, they think about Kuroko no Basket, Haikyuu, Slam Dunk, maybe even Prince of Tennis. But anyways, yeah, Haikyuu. That's a great way to get someone into anime because then they can get it's a shonen as well, and they could kind of see it, and they won't be expecting some things, and they could like how it all has it together. And there's not many sports shows out there where it's just the main focus is sports, and it has multiple seasons. So that's something good that can get people into anime.
And the animation is amazing. But other than that, I think that another great one, especially if you're into comedy, could probably be something around the lines of okay, so I'm gonna say this, but it is a lower end comedy, but and kind of a romance is Nisekoi. I really like
Okay.
Nisekoi. Some people still like it, and they're actually still watching it. I stopped watching it around season 3, but Nisekoi is a good romance / comedy anime. A lot of these like if you know somebody that's like, oh yeah, I like rom-com like movies, you know, then you could definitely say that, because it's romance first but a comedy second, and it's very hilarious, but it does have a driving plot of romance, and so something like that would be an amazing for a first timer, especially if they're more in like, oh, I want to get like some of the funny. I really don't like serious anime. Like I like it when it's more funny.
Yeah.
Like I like TV shows when they're funny. And so you can get them into that, and then slowly they'll progress towards more comedic anime or more romance anime. But for the most part, comedy is always very strong in anime, and I think that it would give them more options.
Also, you don't want to start them off with something that's like too complex, like Akira.
Yes, it would say it would be great, but also
that like when you have to search up and rewatch the movie twice and still not understand what happened in the movie, then
it might be a little too complicated,
and then they might not enjoy it fully. Here's another one. Fairy Tail. It's on Netflix. It's not the greatest thing. It's not like some people, you either like it or you hate it. You love or hate. It's
Fairy
kinda,
Tail.
it's kind of right there.
Fairy Tail was my first shonen.
Really?
My first shonen show, actual shonen, because I classify Soul Eater as an action. I really don't classify it as a shonen.
Shonen's not a genre; it's a demographic.
Yeah,
I'm just being honest. It's a demographic. It's not a genre technically. When you look up genres, shonen's not a genre. But yeah, proceed.
But to that is a really I started with that as the first shonen. I watched all of it on Netflix. I forgot all about it because it's been years since I watched it. Like I said, it was the first.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like getting them into the cycle of grinding a shonen out if they really like it, you know? Which is 350 episodes are on Netflix. You can watch more if you want to go on Kiss Anime. And that's a good place to start them off. It actually ends on a pretty okay arc. So
yeah. Also another one, Seven Deadly Sins. But I mean, also they may not worry too much about animation. But if they're not worrying too much about animation, then because with the newest season, I don't know, but it's good because you can kind of you can wiggle around. You can wiggle around. It's something good, casual you could watch. Another thing, Magi. I've only watched a little bit of it, but it's something you could watch. It's something good. Another one where people can really say, wow, okay, it gets really in deep is Attack on Titan. I've heard so much about it, how it really goes deep into things, and it's just like so much drama, so much, just action.
Dude, season
drama.
1's action was amazing.
Yeah, and I've only heard it's getting better, and then season 3 part 2 I heard was just phenomenal, and then even the manga is going to be insane. I heard the creator, this isn't the ending anymore, but originally he wanted the ending to be everyone dying.
Damn.
That's what he said the ending was going to be.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we haven't seen Attack on Titan.
Season 3.
You have seen season 1 and 2. I haven't seen any Attack on Titan at all. But what's it called? Attack on Titan's a good one to get people into because then they can realize, whoa, okay, it's
getting a little crazy.
It's a little crazy, and it's like, wow, people could be like, okay, so it's not every anime is gonna be for kids or meant for kids, because clearly stuff like that's not meant for kids. When you're especially in today's society, you don't want kids seeing blood or gore or whatever. But yeah.
Whatever, just slice and dice.
Yeah, but drama is because some people could be looking like, oh, I want something really drama filled, and that would be good. But a drama that you wouldn't want someone to start off with is something like Domestic Girlfriend. It's filled with drama.
Going to say, It's
filled with drama. It's filled with drama, but just
too much.
It's a lot of drama. It's really, it's a beautiful story. Not beautiful, but it's really well written story. Really well. I think it's a beautiful story. I agree. It's a good story. It's like just how everything, just There's always something going on.
The
Always something going on. When you think something's wrapped up, something else happens, and you're just like, what? But we just had whatever. But no, you don't want to get that because they're just gonna be like, okay, is this what anime is all about?
Is this all it is?
Because sometimes you see like the generic old white. No, like I'm talking about like 20-year-old fat white dude who still lives in his mom's basement and he carries a body pillow around.
He thinks Aromanga Sensei is like the best anime of all time.
And like the dude who recommends Boku no Pico.
Oh, the first time
thinks he's funny. Yeah. And he thinks he's funny. They're like,
you should watch School Days. It's the best anime ever.
Yeah, or like they just recommend stuff like that, and they're just trying to ruin people so we can't get more people in the anime community, which is what we want at the end of the day.
Stupid.
But yeah. There's plenty of anime out there, and there are some that are good in certain genres, but just don't start them off there. You don't want to start them off at. Sorry about that. We keep having noise going on in the background, and it just seems to never end.
Some dude just loves his car so much.
Yeah, some dude just loves revving his motorcycle. This dude's just taking laps around the neighborhood.
He's probably racing a cop right now.
Yeah, he's probably racing a cop. Yeah. Anyways. Like I was saying, there's plenty of anime out there. Just certain ones you're like, no, don't touch that. Don't touch it. Not yet. Later. You could like kind of tease them with it. You be like, oh, just wait till you get to this anime, and then you're like, oh shit.
Just wait till you're done with Naruto, then you can watch Aromanga Sensei.
Okay, no, because you can't just hop them straight into something like that.
That's a joke.
They have to be.
They have to be ready for it. They have prepared.
They have to know what they're getting into with Domestic Girlfriend. Like, if you don't know what you're getting into with Domestic Girlfriend, it does. But if you're like okay with that kind of stuff,
you have to be okay with it first.
Yeah, you have to be okay with
normalized.
it. Yeah, you have to sign a contract before seeing it. But anyways,
another great one for people that like drama, which kind of ties into his, but also an emotional tie. And if you have people that like crime thrillers, I think it would be a great one. Is Erased.
Okay.
Erased. When I say I cried, bro, I cried. And I think everybody understands that like Erased is a very, very sad anime, but it's suspenseful throughout the whole series. You're trying to figure out the main goal of like who killed, And so it's very interesting and very, very amazing as a first time anime for someone who likes crime thrillers.
This is another great series, but it would not be good to start somebody off with, and you could probably just tell why just off of me saying it. Mob Psycho, very good series. Just don't start them off with it
because they wouldn't be able to appreciate.
They wouldn't be able to appreciate it as much, and also it's just kind of it'd be a little bit complicated for them, and just be like so much is happening, and also they just don't want to go into a little kid getting ripped off by.
Yeah, but you have to also remember that Mob Psycho is created by the same people who made One Punch Man, and all their work is kind of doing something out of the ordinary in anime.
Yeah.
Which is why Mob Psycho has Mob as a very different kind of protagonist. And they won't be able to appreciate that, or Mob and Reagan's relationship, if they hadn't watched anime before. They wouldn't be able to appreciate how special it is compared to other series.
And also, here's one where you could also get your people, like other people, into anime, and I feel like it could also lead into arguments, is the quintessential quintuplet. It's something that I'm not joking. It's something I just finished. It's pretty good. It's pretty wholesome. There's not a lot of, ecchi going on, or a lot of, not a lot of stuff that just would deter people. Is that the right word?
Deter, yeah.
Yeah, deter people from anime. It's pretty good. It's really good story. The drama's there. And it just feels pretty. It's pretty wholesome. It's a good ride. And also, at the end of the day, you could argue with people about who's best girl, and then they'll learn to get into best girl discussions. And when you're in best girl discussions, you're into anime. That's it. Boom. Said
best
and done.
Girl discussions.
Yeah, and also,
you're already into anime.
What's another one that would not be good to get people into anime, because it just let's see.
I would say one that a lot of people really, really enjoy, but if you're not used to gore in anime, definitely don't get him into it, and that is Devilman Crybaby.
Stay away from it.
As good as it is, as amazing as it is, and the story is, start him off with something. I wouldn't even say start him off with this, but start him off with something like Neon Genesis first.
No, don't even start him
off. But that's what I'm saying. Don't even start him off with that, because even that's a little hard on some people too. But definitely start him off with something a little lighter, and then work their way up, to that level of insanity, because it is pretty insane as an anime. But you wouldn't be able to enjoy it if you're too busy being like, it's all shock value. Like, oh my god, I can't believe I just watched this.
And also, you want to, and maybe they're like, okay, I want to get into anime, but I really don't want to give time into it. Like, I want to be able to see something that's really short. And then you're like, okay, a movie. So you start thinking of movies like Your Name, which it's an absolute beautiful movie.
Studio Ghibli movie, but not.
It's not a Studio Ghibli movie.
No, I'm saying a Studio Ghibli.
Yeah, you can get them into,
not too childish of one, because there's a couple ones
there's
that
some,
are
well, that's more
childish.
The Studio Ghibli kids, but there's also some that are, there's I don't know. There's some for everyone. The Studio Ghibli's, it's for everyone. They make bangers for movies. They literally, that's what they do, is just make good movies. And yeah, Studio Ghibli movie, always good. One that I just recently watched, I thought was really good, was When Marnie Was There. It's not too old of a Studio Ghibli movie, so it might not throw people off, but I thought it was really good. It was maybe a little slow for some people, but it still has a good story. Really, really not, I wouldn't say wholesome, but it's just like really a story that makes you smile at the end of the day. Also made me cry a bit. I'm not gonna lie. I do not hold back my tears when I'm watching anime. Definitely
at all.
I'm a crybaby when it comes to anime. Yeah. So yeah. And any anime you want to say?
Yeah, if you have friends that like play like horror games or stuff like that, like old horror games.
Doom Eternal?
No, maybe
Type
actually
B?
sometimes. And you want to get them into a horror anime, I think a great one could either be shoot, man, I just had it on the tip of my tongue, but now I forgot it. What?
Future Diary?
No, Future Diary is great, but I don't think you should start them off. I think it's at the place where Dead Man Wonderland would be. Where
I don't think you should
wait for that.
And a lot of people don't like Future Diary.
But I think it's, oh man, I'm forgetting the name of the anime. It's also a game series. If you wanted to slowly
Darwin's Game?
Work their way into it. Never mind. No, slowly work their way into it. Shoot, man, there's so many iterations of it. I think it's called something like, oh, I forgot.
If you say, what do you think it's called? Like, what do you think?
Because it has something with school.
Might be able to say it.
It has something with school in it. It's a horror, but it's there's a bunch of different versions. There's anime versions. There's game versions.
Persona?
No.
Persona's not okay.
No, PewDiePie used to play it actually, low key.
Huh?
PewDiePie used to play it.
Persona?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm talking about the anime that I'm talking about. I'll get back to that later, but another good horror anime while we're on that topic to start them off with, if they enjoy horror, old slasher movies, then definitely give them Shiki to watch. It is very good, real short, but right to the point, and it's amazing. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. It is the highlight of horror anime. I wish horror anime would make a return, but we kind of see it more in just these like action thrillers. I want a full-on horror anime.
What is it? I think they're, dude, why can't I think of his name? The godfather of horror manga. What is his name? Osamu Tezuka, right?
Yes.
Osamu Tezuka. Yes, they're starting to.
They're gonna make an anime version of his
Uzumaki, I think.
Yep. Uzumaki. And it's actually not gonna be the trash one that was released earlier. That was really bad.
So that one, as you're looking up that game, what's it called? Yeah, Uzumaki. That, but also maybe they won't, because I haven't seen so much of Osamu Tezuka's work, but I really couldn't give my opinion on it. I haven't really read much of it, and I know that especially horror manga, it has such great art, and it would be so hard if you can't just do the animation lackluster in the art. So you found it?
Yes. Sorry, I was gonna say Corpse Party.
Oh,
Corpse Party is an anime, also a game series, and actually a little bit of they have some manga too.
Yeah,
is a great franchise to get into, and if you like people that like playing like horror video games, it's a amazing place to start.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think that is a good stopping point. Like we say, Death Note, Your Lie in April. Those are two. My Hero. What else? What else? Those are three right there that I would say. What would three?
Mine were always Soul Eater.
Okay.
And Soul Eater. Freak. Why am I not remember why I literally
and
said it?
I would say Black Clover
Soul
too.
Eater.
Black Clover, Bleach, Fairy Tail. Those are my
Soul
six.
Eater.
I would say. I don't really like Fairy Tail.
You don't like Fairy Tail?
I dropped it after like 7 episodes, but I'm gonna continue it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna continue it. But I just, from what I've heard, I think it would be something good to pick up after Naruto. But yeah,
I'm already forgetting what I said other than Soul Eater, which is kind of crazy because I said a couple. Man, it's been a long day. It's been a long day.
Yeah, but you can't think of them?
No, man.
All right, well, I guess we should move into...
I guess Soul Eater and Vinland Saga.
Vinland Saga?
You said My Hero, though, right?
I already had it. Yeah, but you could say it too, My Hero.
My Hero is honestly one to start off with. It's
and Attack on Titan too. Attack on Titan, don't forget that. And Promise Neverland. I said a lot, but yeah.
You
Promise
said
Neverland.
Your Lie in April, Promise Neverland,
Death Note, Attack on Titan. Yeah. But yeah, now we'd move on to what would usually be the Black Clover segment, but we're going to try something new. We're going to try and see how this does on YouTube. We're going to start doing, for those of you listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, we're going to start doing chapter reviews for Black Clover on our YouTube channel, which is the Anime Casuals on YouTube.
The reason for this is that we want to go a little bit more in depth. We feel like we don't really get enough time to talk about it here, and we kind of take away time from the subject of the podcast whenever we do it.
Yeah.
And so we want to give that community of Black Clover fans a better way to watch.
Yeah, better, and I feel like it would be easier. So if y'all are interested in listening to our Black Clover reviews, where we go more into depth, I know we don't exactly go into most into depth,
but we'll try to do some more. We'll try to
go into more. We'll start doing them. We're not gonna do one for this week, but for next week we'll try and get one in. So I know the Black Clover has been going crazy recently. It's been crazy ever since this arc started. But with that being said, that about wraps it up for this podcast. Anything you want to say?
If you wanted to check it out on YouTube, it is still the same name as the thing. It's the Anime Casuals on YouTube. Please subscribe if you were looking for the Black Clover stuff, or subscribe if you just want to watch the YouTube videos.
We're right now we're reacting to Bleach. We have episodes 1 through 9 reactions out right now, and we have the Bleach opening reactions. And later this week, Sunday to be exact, we will be having Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood opening reactions coming out. We will be finally reacting to that. We've heard some, I've heard some Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood has some bangers for openings, so we're gonna listen to them. We haven't seen Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, so that should be interesting for us. But yeah,
bless you.
Sorry. With that being said, as always, make sure to take care and keep watching anime.